Is this justice? An Ontario judge, Lori Montague, gave a teen who pleaded guilty to accessory to unaliving people, possessing a stolen car, and possessing an illegal full-auto hand pew-pew 3 months house arrest. The shooting claimed the lives of 2 fathers, Delroy Parks and Seymour Gibbs, and injured 3 others. If there are no repercussions, what's the point of following laws as a young offender? On January 12, 2026, Peel Regional Police announced that their Commercial Auto Crime Bureau had arrested 3 Brampton residents connected to an organized auto crime group. The investigation, which started in December 2025, focused on multiple stolen vehicles, tractor-trailers, and auto-related fraud. It culminated on January 8, 2026, with a search warrant executed at a Brampton residence. Police recovered 3 previously reported stolen vehicles fitted with fraudulent Ontario license plates. The arrested individuals and their charges are Amritpal Katra, 28, faced numerous charges including possession of property obtained by crime, counterfeit mark offenses, theft of motor vehicle, break and enter, and breaches of court orders. Gertis Bular, 33, charged with attempted theft of motor vehicle, possession of break-in instruments, theft, break-and-enter, and related offenses. And Mandeep Kaur, 32, charged with possession of property obtained by crime and possession of counterfeit mark. Katra and Buller were held for bail hearings, while Kaur was released on an undertaking. Both Katra and Buller were already on court-imposed release orders for prior property offenses at the time. In Brampton, Ontario, a video circulating online shows shots fired at the home of an Indian-origin businessman in Brampton, with a gang-linked individual publicly claiming responsibility. In the post, he alleges that Desi supports our enemies and warns that anyone who goes against the gang will meet the same fate. No information has been released about injuries or arrests. But this is a prime example of how the Liberal government is importing third world garbage, and the garbage is bringing in their third world culture wars with them. A Calgary woman in her 30s was lured to an Edgemont home under fake property viewing pretense. She was brutally attacked by 48-year-old Shabazz Ahmed, and she ended him in self-defense with a pocket knife. Police spoke and said, "Non-culpable homicide, no charges. She did everything right." I'll be honest, I'm actually surprised that she wasn't charged for unaliving the animal. Is this a sign of the law starting to work in Canadians' favor?
After a thorough investigation, police believe that the man had lured the woman to the residence under a false pretense of a property showing. While in the residence, the man attacked the woman without provocation. An altercation ensued, which resulted in the death of the man. The woman was able to escape the residence and get the attention of neighbors who called 911. The man and the woman were not in a domestic relationship. The autopsy was conducted today, which identified the man as 48-year-old Shabazz Ahmed. As investigators have determined that the woman was acting in self-defense, Ahmed's death has been deemed not a non-culpable homicide, and no charges will be laid in the incident. An incident of this nature is extremely rare and deeply unsettling for the victim, her family, and all Calgarians. The victim's actions undoubtedly saved her life, and our thoughts are with her as she continues to recover. To protect the privacy of the victim, no further details will be released. I can say that in my experience in the homicide unit, this is easily the most clear-cut case of self-defense that I have ever been involved in.
Could it be another criminal getting what they deserve and not what they want? A transgender woman convicted of first-degree murder in the unaliving of a 13-year-old Edmonton girl who was lured to a golf course, sexually assaulted, strangled, stabbed, then bludgeoned to death with a hammer, has lost her bid to stay in a women's prison. Are the courts finally doing their jobs right? Prime Minister Mark Carney is being criticized after saying Canada is ready to build a new partnership with China. while also stating that the biggest security threat to Canada is China during his run for Prime Minister.
Mr. Carney?
Well, we're in a security section. I think we didn't have a chance to talk about anything internationally. I think the biggest security threat to Canada is China.
China, you say?
Yeah.
The hypocrisy and the lying. Please, explain like I'm 5 years old as to why people still support this con man. Now let's go across the border for a bit. In a jaw-dropping moment that has people screaming at their screens, Senator Josh Hawley, Republican of Missouri, straight up asked board-certified OBGYN, Dr. Nisha Verma, the simplest, most basic question imaginable during a Senate hearing on abortion pills. Can men get pregnant? Instead of delivering the one-word biological fact, no, she froze, dodged, rambled about treating patients of all gender identities, and basically turned the exchange into a masterclass in mental gymnastics. Hawley kept hammering the point. This is about women's health, abortion drugs are for pregnant women, and pregnant women are female. Yet Dr. Verma still couldn't bring herself to say the obvious. The viral clip is pure chaos fuel. A highly credentialed doctor under oath in a congressional hearing about female biology refusing to confirm that men cannot get pregnant. It's the kind of surreal, reality-denying performance that makes you wonder how far ideological capture has gone when even yes or no biology becomes too controversial to answer. Well, I'd just like to say, spoiler alert, men cannot get pregnant. The internet agrees, and it's losing its collective mind over how unhinged the evasion was.
Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
Absolutely.
So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
Can men get
I take
pregnant?
care of many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
Can men get pregnant?
again, as I'm saying,
Let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I
agree.
think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
No, yes/no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking you. You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert, and you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my
say
question, it sounds like to me.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men. We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women, and I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is not polarizing, that is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women. And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing.
This next clip is a bit different from the usual clips that I show. This is going to be a scammer gold rush as we've never seen before. Facebook boomers have no idea what's coming. They are turbo cooked. Warn your loved ones. This is a Hiroshima-level event. Develop a safe word that only you know with your circles. Good luck. Check out this bullshit going on in schools these days. Kindergarten and older students in Ontario are now being tasked with designing their own land acknowledgements, an exercise pushed by school boards as part of their Indigenous education training. I was born in Canada. I've worked and paid taxes for most of my life, and I don't feel that I need to acknowledge anything to the natives because I don't believe they were the first people on this continent. If it weren't for European settlers coming to this place, they'd still be in caves and huts or whatever. They need to acknowledge the European people who brought them out of the Stone Age and into a prosperous civilization instead. And if any of them disagrees with that, tell me. But not by using any technology like the cell phone they're probably looking at right now. I foresee homeschooling becoming a massive trend sooner than later. I've said what I've said. Toronto police have arrested 3 Brampton men in a major fraud investigation dubbed Project Carbon Copy, alleging a cross-country organized check fraud scheme cost financial institutions about $500,000. As a result of their investigation, let me know if you see a pattern here. 23-year-old Jashanbir Jabal of Brampton is charged with 2 counts of fraud over $5,000. A second suspect, identified as 25-year-old Gurbir Jabal of Brampton, is charged with 2 counts of fraud over $5,000. A third suspect, identified as 23-year-old Aryan Gupta, 23 of Brampton, is charged with 2 counts of fraud over $5,000. All 3 are scheduled to appear in court at the Ontario Court of Justice later this month on January 28th. Place your bets, folks. Will they be out on bail or in jail? ONIP, Week 8 protest. Seems to be a great opportunity to round them all up while they're all in one spot. Your visas have expired. You're taking jobs from Canadians. Take your turban, pack your garbage bags, and get the hell out! The entitlement of these morons to make demands. Unbelievable!
This is week 8 of OINP protest. We are standing outside OINP office. Today we got a brief moment to talk with David Piccini, Labour Minister of Ontario. We talked to him about the concerns and issues that have been raised after the files were returned on 14th of November. We requested him to give us a meeting, and I hope that meeting would come as soon as possible and we can get some positive results from that meeting and resolve a long-lasting issue that has been going on from last 2 months. Thank you.
And here we go with another education-related clip. Alberta teacher at St. Andre Bessette Catholic School caught on tape swearing, belittling conservatives, promoting the Alberta NDP, and mocking people who work in our energy sector in front of students. Teachers have a duty to remain professional and politically neutral in the classroom. Students are there to learn math, language, science, and critical thinking based on the approved curriculum, not to be subjected to profanity, partisan attacks, or insults toward Alberta's ethical energy workers and their families. All classrooms must be places of respect, where every student and every family feels welcome, regardless of their political views or where they work.
I'm like, okay, but you can't, your entire society is built on fuck. Trudeau, sticker, oil pipelines, now you bad, I'm good. Angry. Okay, but you can't control your entire society with anger. Me not angry if me rich. Okay, cool, so we're going to give you jobs. Oh, okay, what kind of jobs? I know, what kind of jobs do you want? Oil jobs! Now! Okay, that's old Fort Murray. Now, if you're like, but I think maybe Fort Murray should think about solar panels. Ah! They blow up. Okay, ironically, I did drive my electric car from Fort Mac once, and I got a couple compliments. I'm like, okay, there you go. And then I didn't park outside because I was scared to get hit by a truck. But the idea is, they're like, they are conservative. And you walk up there and you're like, I think you guys should consider other possibilities of political parties. And they're like, but there is no other political parties. But yeah, there's the NDP and the Green Party and the Liberals. And they're like, but you could maybe like, but they just don't. I grew up in Bonnyville. All right, like literally Bonnyville. My mother, just for jokes, my mother's kind of a little hipster lady, put an NDP sign, a federal NDP sign, in her yard in Bonnyville. Her sign, she timed it last 30.
I don't know if this teacher is still employed at this school, but if anyone knows, let us know in the comments. In Brampton, Ontario, officers from the 22 Division Criminal Investigations Bureau, CIB, have arrested and charged 5 migrant men from Brampton in connection with an ongoing tow truck-related dispute. On October 31st, 2025, officers responded to a report of a fight involving multiple tow truck operators in the area of Kennedy Road South and Orenda Road in Brampton. Upon arrival, officers located 3 victims who had been attacked with a metal pole, 2 of whom were also assaulted with bear spray and required medical attention. As a result of a thorough investigation, the following individuals were arrested and charged on January 14, 2026. Rishav Chopra, 27, uttering threats to cause bodily harm or unaliving. Assault. Assault causing bodily harm × 2. Administering noxious thing with intent to cause bodily harm × 2. Possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose. Jashandeep Singh, 34. Uttering threats to cause unaliving or bodily harm. Assault with a weapon × 3. Harmandeep Singh, 27. Assault × 2. Tajinder Chopra, 20. And Varun Owl, 32. Assault. All these immigrants were, wait for it, released on an undertaking with conditions, and to be good little immigrants and promise not to break any more laws with a pinky swear. Seen in Millwoods, Edmonton. Why the spears? Tell me I'm wrong. That if the roles were reversed and these were Canadians, true born and raised in Canada, that they would be charged with carrying a weapon like that. In Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, it is illegal to carry a long, pointed spear, even for self-defense purposes. Under Canadian law, carrying a weapon for self-defense is not permitted, and carrying a weapon for any purpose can result in legal consequences. Unless you're a new Canadian, because this law only applies to real Canadians, it seems. An Indian driver lies to a cop. York Regional Police do NFL-style instant replays when they pull you over now. Or was he making a turban head gesture?
Hello there, how are you? Good. Good. Hey, the reason for the stop today is that you didn't stop at the red light back there at the intersection.
I think it went green, that's why I...
No, it was red. It was red the whole time.
It was green, that's
you thought it was green?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. After reviewing the video, the light was definitely red when you made the right turn there. You didn't stop, okay?
Okay, last clip for today. I saw this the other day and I nearly pissed myself laughing so hard. In this clip, we have an Indian army firing a single artillery round. While we wait for them to finish those dance moves, our artillery has already fired 24 rounds.
Oh yeah, listen up everyone, enemy has arrived. Hey, come on, pick up your gun, yeah. Hoi! Oi! Seeing the rifle are moved, became so good as 1 foot forward and backward to move right. Supposed to fire bullet, but bhara started yo. Oh, balle balle ho, Lami squad got lost. See. One bullet, just 1 bullet to fire. Oi, 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 oi. But dancing in the all night we had to pass it, no. Earth is shaking, but our step won't stop, no. Barra! Oh yeah, enemy shells are falling down here. Where to aim? I don't know, huh? Someone dancing left, someone going right. See, command shouting fire. One bullet, just 1 bullet to fire. Yeah, oi, oi, oi. But dancing in the all night we had to pass, you know. Earth is shaking, but our steps won't stop, no. Barra! Oh yeah, it fired. One more round, day.
Oh my God, that was funny. I needed that. If any of this made you angry, shocked, or nod your head, don't stay silent. Hit like, leave a comment, and tell me what stood out to you the most. Subscribe to the channel so these stories don't get buried. This is Mac's Opinion, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!